Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Panzerkampf video, although it may not look like it based on the gameplay footage I'm showing, but I thought I'd show a War Thunder video because I had a very good game of top tier, well I say top tier, about 9.3 in my T72, part of the German tech tree though, and yeah, I don't usually get good games, so I thought I'd show it. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, but yeah, this is another Panzerkampf video. Uh, as I say in every Panzerkampf video, we're getting ever closer to the official release date for Steam. Nothing has been confirmed yet by the developers, but there'll be something soon, I'd imagine. But yeah, this is going to be another rambling video, so apologies if you expected some gameplay or something like that, but I think it's another important topic to discuss. As all of you know, well, anyone who plays tank games knows that there is now a growing gap in the market with arcade tank games. I'll relate back to the video I'm showing right now. War Thunder is obviously king of the realistic side of tank games. You know, there's no hit points. It's purely based upon modular damage. If you kill a vehicle or not, there's crew members. You can destroy turrets, gun breaches, barrels can be destroyed, tracks, blah blah blah. You all know the gist there. But yeah, towards that arcade side, obviously, Upon the Throne has been sitting World of Tanks for the past, how long's it been? 14, 15 years, something ridiculous like that now. But people are finally sick and tired of the game. And it should come as no shock that YouTubers are now saying they're going to be transitioning to a different game, um, which should have been Panzerkampf. But unfortunately for the developers, there is now some severe competition that is going to be joining them, that is being released later on in this year. And I'm sure many of you have guessed what I'm about to say, but the game is Steel Aces. So what do I mean by an arcade tank game? Well, I mean a game with RNG shots. Obviously, War Thunder doesn't have that because it's realistic, so the shell dispersion is far less than an arcade tank game. You've got the vehicle's health obviously being based upon hit points rather than modular damage. In War Thunder, if your crew dies, that's it, it's game over. Obviously, in a game like World of Tanks, you have to whittle down your opponent's health to zero, and then they die. And obviously, in World of Tanks, you get the name bars appearing above enemies saying what tank they are, how much health they got left, blah blah blah. In War Thunder, it's just your enemies are just they can appear anywhere on the map because they don't have markers above their head. And Panzerkampf fits that arcade tank genre completely. Now, some of you may be asking why I keep mentioning different genres of tank games, arcade, realistic, blah, 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 whatever it may be. The point of me mentioning it is because, as I said earlier, there is a growing gap in the arcade tank market. And I know I keep drilling on about it all the time. However, these gaps are extremely few and far between in today's society. Let me just put it into a different picture. Imagine you have two big clothing brands. You've got Adidas and Nike, or Nike if you're American, whatever. I'm British, so it doesn't bother me. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again. Yeah, imagine if you have those two big brands, both occupying the market, okay? And Nike starts to crumble, absolutely crumble. What does that allow for? That allows for smaller clothing companies who are currently unknown to fill that area that is going to be left by Nike in the market. Panzerkampf is in a very similar situation now with World of Tanks. World of Tanks, I don't know how many times it's been said throughout hundreds of thousands of YouTube videos at this point, is dying. The player count has gone down to under, I think, 100k now, the last time I checked, which is half of War Thunder's usual peak players. And yeah, there is that gap. And Panzerkampf has had this opportunity for a few months now to release a full game to Steam to properly snatch that opportunity from wargaming. As I've said in previous videos, I do not believe that Panzerkampf is going to capitalize on that. And I'll just quickly summarize why I think that is because there's not much content in the game. You're not going to be able to play with your friends on the Steam release. There's still a lot of bugs and issues that are there on launch. The the bots are the same. as they were in a previous tank game made by the same company, which I'm not going to talk about because it's an old game. Never mind, this is editing me, and I'm going to talk about it. The old game was Armored Aces, as you probably guessed, and I'm just going to run through the list of tanks that were added to the game post-release. There was the Panzer 38T, the Panzer 35T, KV-220, A32 and BT-7, and the Renault FT-17. Those are all of the tanks added into the game's history. So how many tanks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tanks added over a period of about 2 years. That's just not going to cut it when it comes to Steam. That relates to a later point I make in the video. I'll cut away from this now, and I can go back to playing the epic War Thunder gameplay. But yeah, I think the point of this video is that I believe Panzerkampf has well and truly missed its one and only opportunity to properly grasp a one in a lifetime chance that they've been given. And that is because Steel Aces is being released at the end, or yeah, about the end of this year, apparently, according to what's been going on in the Discord. But yeah, the point of why I'm bringing it up is because Steel Aces is also in this arcade tank genre. From what I can see, I'll put some pictures on the screen. It is far more content filled than Panzerkampf currently is. We have, I think it's three nations currently in the beta testing. There's the Soviets, there's the Americans, and the Germans, and there's tank destroyers. Obviously, in Panzerkampf, we've only gotten 2 new tanks since 2024. It's sad me saying that, but it is the truth. We've had 2 new tanks and 1 new map. We don't have a fully completed German tank destroyer line, and yeah, we've only got tiers 1 and 2 at the moment, with the Jagdtiger coming soon, but tanks just aren't being added quick enough. And now with even more competition on Panzerkampf's hands, they've got to knuckle down now and release a fully finished game to Steam. They have to go into some sort of overdrive mode, and I know they're a small team, but something has to be done. They've got to capitalize on this now. Otherwise, it's going to flop. The game will flop because they can't release an unfinished game and then Steel Aces rocks around at the end of the year and then swipes the entire Panzerkampf player base. It can't happen. It it just can't happen. Another problem for Panzerkampf is the content that Steel Aces has in the game. It's got an all new damage system. So from what I can tell, it combines hit points. So obviously, like Will the Tanks, if you run out of hit points, you die. It's the same in Steel Aces. However, there is also modular damage in the game. So I believe if you hit crew members or take out certain modules of a tank, you'll deal additional damage. So it's kind of combined the War Thunder and Will the Tank's damage systems, which I think is really good. It's something that Panzerkampf hasn't done. It hasn't really, so to say, reinvented the wheel in any way. It's just got the standard damage formula that's similar. It's not the exact same, but it's very similar to Will the Tanks. I think another thing that Steel Aces has is multi-turreted tanks as well. I just seen a beta testing video, a closed beta testing video. The SMK is in the game, the T-35 is in the game, and they all have multi-functional turrets. I know we've got the M3 Lee in Panzerkampf, and the top turret doesn't work. The 37mm turret, you can only use the 75mm gun. It would have been nice to see maybe them balance it out, and you can use both the 37 and 75, but that doesn't look to be the case. I'm not sure about the maps that are in Steel Aces. I'd have to double check that, but yeah, I know there's only 4 in Panzerkampf for the moment, and there were 3 for many a month. So yeah, I think the point I'm trying to make is that this is the final straw for Panzerkampf now. They, as I said, they need to go into some sort of hyperdrive mode and get this game in tip-top shape for the Steam release, or as soon as it comes out on Steam, have like a major update to the game, which fixes a lot of the bugs and issues that people worldwide have been experiencing, especially those up in North America. And there's got to be continuous content added to this game, because as soon as Steel Aces comes out, there's not going to be another chance, and it's going to be such a missed opportunity if this game completely flops. The developers have put work into this game. I'm not saying they haven't. I'm saying that the model they're currently following to develop their game, adding in one tank at a time, one map at a time, months apart, which they used in Armored Aces, which eventually died due to the lack of content that was added in. They're following the same path that led the first game to failure, and now it's going to happen to this one as well. PC players, I think I tried mentioning this to the developers before as well. The PC players on Steam are expecting fully finished games. Mobile players, you obviously, because they're a younger audience, you can kind of give them half finished games and then they can grow as the game, there's more added to the game. But the PC market is, mostly men aged 20 and upwards who are expecting top quality games and looking for something great to invest their time into. And they won't want to play a half finished game with very, very limited content options. So please, this is the final video on the subject matter now. Please, Panzerkampf developers, you've got to do something here. And you've got to get this game in tip-top shape for Steam release. I can't stress this enough. This is the third video on the subject matter. Something has to change with the development plans. Please listen to these warning signs that you've currently got and make sure that the competition in Steel Aces and Will the Tanks does not outperform you. As always, I've been Panzer Ace. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.